An Introduction to the Science of Hadith by Ibn Salah Shahrazuri, 577 to 643. The most influential work in the science of Hadith in existence. We recommended that the addendum be written going toward the top of the page, lest another omission should have to be supplied later. If the student were to write the first addendum going down toward the bottom, we would not find the margin opposite the next omission free for its addendum. When he writes the first addendum going up, he finds the opposite margin free for whatever omissions he encounters after that. We also said that he should supply the addendum on the right side, because if we were to put it on the left side, often another omission appears further on in the same line. If he also puts the second addendum on the left side opposite the line, the two addenda will become mixed up. If he supplies the second addendum on the right side, the curve for supplying the addendum on the left side and the one on the right side will meet or face each other, such that it will look like the words between them are being struck out. On the other hand, when the student supplies the first addendum on the right side and then supplies the second on the left, they do not meet up and no confusion is entailed. However, if the omission occurs at the end of the line, there is no reason then for not supplying it on the left, because of the proximity of the omission to the margin, and because the above-mentioned justification no longer holds, since we do not fear the appearance of another omission further on in the same line. When the omission is at the beginning of the line, the necessity of supplying it on the right side is further confirmed on account of the issue of proximity we brought up, in addition to the other reasons discussed above. Commentary. The notation of errors and variant readings from different transmissions or different copies of the text or similar material, not part of the original text, which is to be supplied in the margins. The expert Qadi Iyad, God bless him, held the view that a line of insertion should not be used for this kind of material. This way ambiguity does not arise with this foreign material being considered part of the original text. The line is to be used only for what belongs to the original text itself. However, to mark the word for which the additional material was intended, a sign like latch, dabba, or the one indicating the word is correct, tashih, is sometimes placed over it. I say the line of insertion is better and clearer. The character of its supplementary material inherently eliminates any ambiguity. This supplement differs from the other kind belonging to the original text, in that the line of the latter comes between the two words, bracketing the omission, and the line of the former occurs over the actual word, for the sake of which the supplementary material in the margin is cited. God knows best. Number 12. One of the concerns of skillful and exact students is to take care in marking as correct, latching, and marking as faulty, tashih, tadbīb, and tamrid. Marking as correct consists of writing it is correct, sahha, above the reading or in its vicinity. This is done only for something that is correct in regard to transmission and sense, but that is open to doubt or dispute. It is correct is written above it, so that it is known that it is not to be overlooked, and this is what has been accurately written, and that is correct in that form. The symbol of latching is also termed marking as faulty, is placed over a reading which is established as appearing that way from the standpoint of transmission, but is corrupt in form or sense, or is weak or defective. It may, for instance, be impermissible in terms of Arabic usage, or seem odd to speakers of Arabic, with most of them rejecting it. It may also have been misread, musahaf, by a previous copyist, or one word or more may have been omitted from the passage, or something along those lines. A line, the beginning of which is like the letter sad, is extended above something like this. It is not written on the indicated word, lest it be thought that the word is being struck out. It is like the letter sad of the word sahha, with an insertion rather than the ha. It is written in this way to distinguish between what is absolutely correct from the standpoint of transmission, and in other ways, and in what is correct from the standpoint of transmissions, but not in another way. For this reason, it is correct is not written in complete form over it. The writing of the word defective, naqis, over a defective word also indicates its faultiness and deficiency, despite the soundness of its transmission and relation. This alerts anyone who looks in the book that the copyist noticed the defective word and has conveyed it as he found it. Perhaps someone else will give him a correct reading, or the reading which does not now seem correct to him will seem correct later on. If he had changed the word and corrected it to the best of his understanding at the time, he would be liable to what has befallen more than one imprudent scholar who changed the text, and the correct reading turned out to be the one they rejected, and the corrupt reading the one they corrected it to. In regard to calling that symbol a dabba, literally a door latch, or the piece of material patched over a crack or break, for example, in a vessel or a piece of wood, we read from the lexicographer Abul Qasim ibn Ibrahim ibn Muhammad, known as ibn Iflili, that this is the word that this is because the word is locked up by it and not readable, as if the door latch were locked. God knows best. Because the dabba occurs over a reading containing imperfections, it is also like a piece of material which is placed over a crack or a break, so the name of the symbol was taken for that word. Borrowings of this kind are not unheard of. One of the other places for latching is the point in an isnad where looseness, irsal, or interruption, inqita', occurs. Latching, the point of looseness and interruption, is customary for scholars. This is similar to what was mentioned above about latching, a defective reading. In some old hadith manuscripts and isnads containing a number of transmitters whose names are placed in conjunction with one another, one finds a symbol similar to a dabba between the names. Someone with little experience may mistakenly believe that it is a dabba when it is not. It seems that it is the symbol of connection between them which was written to confirm the conjunction, for fear that an from would be placed in place of a wow, and God, knowledge belongs to God, He is exalted. Some copyists occasionally abbreviated the symbol. It is correct, so that its shape comes to resemble that of a dabba. Perspicacity is one of the best things that can be bestowed upon a person. God knows best. Number 13. When something that does not belong occurs in a book, it is eliminated by striking out, darb, scratching out, hak, erasure, or some other way. Striking out is superior to scratching out and erasing. We heard the judge Abu Muhammad ibn Khalad, God bless him, say, "Our colleagues say scratching out is an accusation." Someone informed me that Qadi Iyad said, "I heard our teacher Abu Bahr Sufyan ibn al-Asi al-Asadi relating that one of his teachers used to say, the teachers of old used to disapprove of bringing a knife to a class in order that nothing be peeled away, because sometimes something that is peeled away in one class is established as sound in another transmission. The book may be heard another time from a different teacher with what was peeled off or scratched away from the transmission of the first teacher being correct in the transmission of another, so then the student needs to restore it after it was peeled off. When a line is drawn over the reading on account of the transmission of the first teacher and it is established as being correct by the second teacher, the symbol standing for the second teacher above it is enough to establish its correctness. Stay tuned for many more parts.